A motivational story about patience in a fast world. Have you ever worked very hard for something and still felt like nothing was changing? You wake up early, you study, you work every single day, but the world seems silent. No big success, no breakthrough moment, no life-changing opportunity. And one quiet night a question appears in your mind. Am I wasting my time? We live in a world that worships speed. A video can go viral overnight. An app can reach 1 million users in weeks. A book can become a bestseller in its first month. Everything feels like it must happen quickly. And if it doesn't happen quickly, we start to believe we are failing. But sometimes the things that truly matter take longer than we expect. This is the story of an American writer who learned that lesson in a surprising way. His name was Daniel Carter. Daniel lived in a small apartment in Manhattan, New York. From his window, he could see tall buildings stretching into the sky. At night, the city lights never seemed to sleep. On Daniel's desk, there were always 3 things: a laptop, a notebook, and a cup of coffee. Daniel wanted to become a writer, not just someone who wrote blog posts, not just someone who published short articles. He wanted to write a real book, a book that could make someone stop for a moment, think deeply, and see life in a different way. So every morning Daniel woke up at 5. He opened his laptop and he started writing. Daniel wrote very quickly. Ideas came to him constantly. In only 3 months he finished his first book. He felt proud, excited. He sent the manuscript to several publishers. Then he waited. 1 week passed, 2 weeks passed, 3 weeks passed. Finally, an email arrived. But the message was short and polite. Thank you for your submission. Unfortunately, we are unable to publish this manuscript at this time. Daniel felt disappointed, but he thought that was normal, so he continued writing. This time, Daniel worked even harder. He wrote for 10 hours every day. Coffee, soft music, the sound of typing filling the room. Within 2 months, his second book was finished. He sent it to publishers and waited. The result was the same, a rejection, polite, short. Without explanation, Daniel kept writing. The 3rd book, the 4th book. Manuscripts began to pile up on his computer, but the outside world remained silent. No one told him he was terrible, but no one told him he was great either. Just silence. And sometimes silence can feel even heavier than failure. One late night, Daniel sat alone in his apartment. The city outside was still glowing with lights, but his room felt quiet. He opened one of his old manuscripts, read a few pages, then closed it again. Something wasn't right. He had written a lot, but his story seemed to be missing something. Depth, subtlety, maturity. One afternoon, Daniel ran into his old professor, the man who had once taught his creative writing class in college. They sat together in a small coffee shop in Brooklyn. The professor asked, "So what have you been writing lately?" Daniel smiled a little. "I've written a lot, but none of my books have been published." The professor thought for a moment and asked, "How long does it take you to write a book?" Daniel answered proudly, "About 2 months." The professor smiled gently. That might be the problem. Daniel looked confused. "What do you mean?" The professor replied. "Good books need time to grow. A story is like a person. It needs time to mature." Before they left the cafe, the professor said something simple. "Try writing slower, not less, just deeper." Daniel took that sentence home with him. That night, he opened his newest manuscript. But this time, he didn't start writing. Instead, he read it from the beginning. Slowly, carefully. For the first time, Daniel noticed things he had never seen before. Some paragraphs were rushed. Some ideas were not fully explored. Some emotions didn't feel real. Daniel realized something important. He had been trying to write fast, but he had never really listened to the story. Starting again. The next day, Daniel started again, but this time everything was different. He didn't begin a new book. Instead, he focused on one chapter. He edited every sentence, every paragraph, every idea. Some days he wrote only a few lines, but those lines were better than anything he had written before. The process continued for months. Writing, reading, editing, thinking. For the first time, Daniel felt that writing a book was not a race. It was a journey. The unexpected email. One autumn morning, Daniel was writing when his phone vibrated. A new email. He opened it. It was from a publisher. But this message was different. "We were very impressed by your manuscript. We would like to discuss publishing your book." Daniel read the email several times, not because he didn't believe it, but because he suddenly understood something. Success didn't come when he wrote the fastest. It came when he learned to be patient with his process. The lesson. After his book was finally published, many people asked Daniel the same question. What is the secret to writing a successful book? Daniel usually answered with a simple sentence. Don't rush. Good stories take time. Final message. Many people give up too early in life, not because they lack talent, but because they don't see results immediately. But the truth is this, the things that truly matter rarely happen quickly. A strong tree takes years to grow. A great book takes time to write. And a strong person takes time to become. If you are working hard right now but your results haven't appeared yet, don't assume you are failing. You might simply be in the stage where everything is quietly growing. Keep going. Stay patient. And remember this. The best things in life usually do not arrive fast, but when they finally arrive, they tend to stay for a very long time.